morning. This is Peg Larson from the State Office Building. John Call is here also. I wanted to give you a report on a Senate education hearing that was held on October 26th. The main focus of this hearing was testing. I'm sure you've seen some of it on the news, different pieces. The one thing everybody did agree upon was the fact that there are too many tests given and that teachers are teaching to the test, and that it may be very wise to have alternative assessments of students. And the fact that many students don't do well on a test or just miss it by a couple points, and then that doesn't mean that they haven't improved or learned. So that tied in with Pearson coming and testifying about the flip with the tests last year. They are now very much into technology. They are meeting with different districts to talk about the testing and their new technology, the Right to Learn online program. They also are going to be still working with MDE to provide the test, even though they do provide tests nationwide. And then Kevin McKendry from the Minnesota Department of Education also testified that their OLPA program that they just started, they won't be able to continue because they don't have the funding. And that raised some eyebrows, especially Senator Hoffman thought that was not really acceptable. I think they're kind of setting things up to look at budget this coming session, and even though it's a short session, they can certainly put a lot of things in there, and they can do a supplemental budget. Kevin McKendry said that the reimbursement for the ACTs will now go directly to districts, and it should be an easier system. Pearson will be changing their testing system from the NAV8 to AccessNet in the middle of next year. I think that's something everybody wants to be aware of. And they, like I said, they're having technology sessions, but especially with schools that use a Mac or an Apple. About 70% of the students in the state of Minnesota do that. And they are working closely with those schools to make sure that their testing is going to be compatible online with those programs. The executive director from the Board of Teaching testified for the MTLE and made it very clear that that test is taken before people get into the program, but they don't have to pass it, but then they do have to pass it at the end. Senator Alice Johnson questioned, and other people around the table agreed with her, that that isn't really a definite about whether somebody's going to be good in the classroom or not. So I think there's going to be a lot more legislative input into that this coming session. There was great discussion about the GED test, and there was a volunteer gentleman who helps administer it who said that it has gotten just extremely difficult. And the gentleman from Pearson did say that the test was not being accepted by colleges and military, so they did take a look at the state of Minnesota and surrounding states and really ramped it up. And that brought on the discussion about whether it should be a test of your high school knowledge or whether that should be a test of people who have taken trigonometry and other things going into college. So with that said, Chair Weaver said there will be many more meetings. Testing will be a discussion in a few of these meetings. He does have a meeting on November 10th, and the achievement gap will be certainly discussed. If you would like to testify or come up to that, would you please let John or I know? And then he's going to have hearings in January, and I'm not sure whether he's going to in December or not, but I think he's going to have a couple in January so that he can get testing and some of these other things ready to take before the full committee that can actually vote. Because off session they cannot actually vote, they can just have informational hearings. And I hope you're enjoying the fall before it turns to winter.